collaboration, do ground action in terms of research work. And that's how our objectives are to building a platform for early career researcher. Early career means those who are up to 5 years post PhD. And we are planning to improve our communication skill, our professional skill sharing, whatever skills you have learned during your master's, PhD, and early career, you have to share with others as well. Developing network and collaborations along with each other. So that is the goal of our platform. And that's how we organize a lot of events like knowledge sharing workshops, where young researchers can present their ideas, research, skills, everything. So we can say the SYAHI is a platform which provides you a lot of info regarding PhD fellowship opportunities, postdoctoral positions like RA positions, postdoc positions, openings, and the funding calls. If you are keen to know about the grants and the funding, so that's how we also update the funding calls around the globe, not only in India. So we also look forward to the members' input. Like if you're a member, you can also provide input that if there is somewhere openings of PhD and postdocs, if somewhere you find there's a grant opening, please let us know. We will update on our social media, Twitter, everywhere. We already recently we advertised around 10 to 12 postdoc openings on the websites. You can go through and you can check related to your field. Uh, and we will continue. We will continue to provide all openings, as well as we will continue to provide hands-on training programs like we are doing today for Python workshop. So hands-on training program, not only for this Python, we'll also provide on different tools and techniques. That techniques will be kind of emerging technologies and the world scale global technologies. And that's how we provide all those skills and hands-on training program. We host monthly podcast series as well. So last time we did podcast series on uh, urban planning. So we will do a lot of podcast series as well. So please keep tuned to our website and then you will get updates. SYAHI will not only organize program and a podcast. We will also motivate our members to be a mentor. To be a mentor means you can, or you should actually, you should also guide your juniors and those who are younger in your career than you. So you have to be mentors. So we motivate our members to be a mentor for the registered students, those who are in universities, those who are part of our SYAHI platform or not, doesn't matter. You have to mentor young students. That's our goal. As SYAHI, we also look forward to have multiple collaborators in terms of book chapters. So we edit books. So you can write book chapters. We also work on collaboration with several young scholars for grant writing. So you can collaborate in fund writing and many more actions. So not only on collaboration on providing data skills training, we also invite a lot of PIs, project instructors of Indian labs, as well as we'll try to invite global labs as well, labs from other countries, east and west. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to invite the PIs. They will share their ideas, how they wrote the grant, how if they were successful or not. They will share their experience of writing grant. Not only inviting PIs, we will provide access to members if they get any internship. They will look for internship if they look for any project or even job as well. So we keep tuned to our social networking. We will update all those. Please explore our website, our LinkedIn page, our Twitter page, and then keep searching about positions as well. Uh, on the website, we have a different tabs. If you go to the website, you will see there is a research tab which displays our recent publications by our members, our collaborators, and there will be a resource tab. In the resource tab, you will have all the job openings like PhD openings, even job openings, postdoctoral, and other useful resources as well. And there is a separate tab called blog tab, where young researchers put forth their ideas and their experience as a blog. So you will get a blog tab to place your research work and activities, what you are doing in your science. that is a good opportunity to share your experience as well. So this is our first hands-on training workshop, and we have received around 400 plus registrations and across the globe, and it's all about 135 institutions, different type of institutions related to hydrology, science, civil engineering, agriculture, and most of the 45% of registrants from out of India across the globe. So this is the brief what I told about the SYAHI, and we will start our first workshop on Python today. So with this word, I would like to introduce our resource person, Dr. Vivek Gupta. Dr. Vivek Gupta is a postdoctoral fellow at University of Mercedes. So Dr. Gupta, are you there? I cannot see here.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Could you speak loudly?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes,
I can hear you. Excellent.
Okay. So yeah, let me share my screen quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to thank Dr. Prakash Jha for providing such a nice introduction for the SYAHI as well as for the workshop, and I would really request all the attendees to, if you are not a member of the SYAHI yet, please become a member, because when we would be organizing the next workshop, we would be definitely prioritizing our members. And a lot of workshops are already coming in, such as probably a workshop on Hydras, maybe a workshop on maybe book writing, a workshop on proposal writing. So yeah, there are a lot of things that are lined up. So please do register if you are not a member. So yeah, we can then start today's workshop. So it's all on the Python, right? So Python is kind of a very emerging tool. Like 5 years back, if I remember, it was all about MATLAB. People were crazy about MATLAB, but now they don't really consider it. And Python is emerging with a lot of libraries daily coming in, and many people are developing a lot of packages, especially for the hydrology and GIS, as well as for the kind of agricultural sciences. So it is important to really learn and to get an idea of how does this thing work, and if we can use the tools that are available there, we can really maximize our potential for research and for the work. So today we would be basically focusing. This workshop is basically focused on the candidates who don't have any previous experience in the programming. So basically, yeah, there are many people who would have experience in MATLAB and they want to learn Python, as well as some people are well versed in C or C++ and they want to learn Python. So definitely it would be useful for them. But I would be assuming that you don't know really anything about any programming language, so that we can build a great concepts in Python. So yeah, now let's start it. So as you all know that schedules are already has been circulated, so I would briefly introduce you to the speakers that would be teaching those sessions. So today's sessions, both sessions I would be taking. Today's work is all about installation of installation, as well as about how Jupyter Lab notebook works. Jupyter Lab works, how Jupyter Notebook works, what are the Markdown language. So that all would be covered in the first hour, and then we would jump into the Python. So we would learn all about the basic syntax and how to start, how the Python deals whatever you are doing with it, right? So tomorrow then we would be covering at the same time again the NumPy and SciPy. These are the most kind of used packages that are utilized by the scientific community. Then there is another package that is Panda, and it is also a very I would say very beautiful package that do a lot of work with very few commands. So this would be taken by the Subhankar. Subhankar is basically a research scholar at Department of Hydrology, IIT Roorkee. Then statistical modeling in Python, again I would be taking in next week, in the same day. Then the crop modeling will be taken by the Dr. Prakash Jha. He is also a postdoctoral scholar at Kansas State University. You already heard Dr. Jha during the introduction. Then Python for hydroclimatology will be taken by Aditya. Aditya is again the research scholar in IISER Bhopal. So that's the introduction for the our speakers. Then what we are going to learn today. Let's get into it, right? So we would be seeing basically how Jupyter Lab environment works. Then we would be seeing how Markdown and different syntax work. We would be then again going for basic syntax in the Python. Then we would see strings, lists, comparators, as well as dictionaries and etc. So a lot of things are there to cover today. And let's move. Yeah, overall learning goals of this workshop is like do so that, I mean, if you have attended all 4 days of classes, then you can really do basic analysis in Python, maybe a time series analysis, some kind of statistical analysis, doing like converting time series data from annual to monthly, monthly to daily, daily to, I mean, you can aggregate different time series data as well as analyzing it in different ways. Then you would be also learning flood frequency analysis. That is another focus highlight of this workshop. Then Dr. Prakash would be teaching how to do the crop model using the Python. Then again, this is a very much topic in demand, that how to handle large NetCDF files or multiple NetCDF files in one go in hydroclimatic analysis. So that's where many candidates struggle. So that would be taken by Aditya. Again, yeah. So let's see what Python is. So Python is basically a general purpose language. It's basically built upon C. It was, I think, if I remember correctly, it was introduced in 1989, and basically at that time C was a very popular language. So they built it upon that, and it is a high-level language. It's basically high-level means it is more user-friendly. You can say it is built. It does not directly interact, but it is a top layer. Then you can call the Python as structured language. Structured language means you can define different, you can write different modules, different functions, different classes, and then you can utilize this kind of structure to really do whatever analysis or whatever program you want to run. It is again an interpreted language. So interpreted language means you need not to write whole code and then compile it in one go, and then you really see if it is working or not. So interpreted means you can really go line by line, and each line you can see, okay, this is working, then you can go to next line. So that way Python is really very helpful and user friendly. It is object oriented language. So there are, several criteria for object oriented language. We would not be covering it in this workshop. Probably we would be organizing a advanced workshop for object oriented language as well as classes definition. So that would cover in the next probably follow-up workshop that would happen to this one. So basically this is a very simple, portable and basic. The main thing is open source. So as I was saying that many people were using previously MATLAB, and now they have all shifted to Python because it is an open source language and a lot of library support is available. So if I see like what are the applications where Python can be used. So a lot of things can be done using Python. As you can see, like it can be done. It is being used very highly intensively for the web development. So if you see, I think websites like Twitter or probably Quora. So those basically kind of utilizes a part where backend where they use a Python framework. Communicating with database, and again when you are dealing on the databases on the backend of a web server or something, then Python is very, very useful and fast language. Desktop GUIs you can develop for GUIs kind of software you can develop using Python. Scientific computing, that is the focus for us that we would be doing and we are interested in. So scientific computing can be done using Python. Then software development, a lot of software development happens in the Python. Again, games and all can also be developed. Now, how to run Python? So there are a lot of interpreters there are a lot of integrated development environments. So when we are running a program, we need somewhere to really run the code. So for that, we need generally integrated development environment. So I'll just show you briefly. I'll show you one demo how previously people used to run Python and how it has changed now. So if you can see this command prompt I'm showing to you. So is it visible?
Yes, I think your
This command
slide,
prompt.
how to run Python.
Sorry, how to know? No, I'm just a minute. Let me, I think, reshare the screen probably.
Oh,
I think.
would you like to switch? Would you like to switch a screen or something? Great.
Yeah. So this is the command prompt, and then you write Python here, or you enter into the Python development environment. Now this is the traditional way of.
Vivek, if possible, please maximize the command. Yes,
Okay.
because it's yes.
So the font size may not be.
No, it's
This,
okay, but you can maximize the yes. This then it's okay.
yeah. So I like. Let me do it again. If so, this is a basic terminal or your command prompt interface. Then you write here Python. Once you write Python here, you enter into Python development environment. Here it will recognize all your Python commands. So if I write like 2 plus 2, it would give you 4, right? So this is previously people used to do this kind of code, or what you can do is another way to do it from the command prompt is you write Python and then you supply it any file like script.py. So if
Sorry, Vivek, there is one input from the participants. We have to like either increase the size of this screen or the front size. Yeah.
So I think it is visible now.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
it again. So in the command prompt, you write basic Python and you enter into the Python environment. So here, if you write 2 plus 2, then I mean every this environment can recognize all the Python commands for you. Then if you go to if you are having like multi-line script where I mean you want to run a function or you want to run analysis based for which are having a lot of computations to do. So you can basically supply this script.python. If this needs to be stored in this directory, and this again this will recognize that basically what you are saying that is that this run this script using the Python kernel, Python environment. So this will basically run your Python script. So this is how previously people used to do. Now what happened is now a lot of development environment came. So there are like most famous development environments are like PyCharm, Spider, then Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab. A lot of things are there. So today we would be basically focusing on mostly Jupyter Notebook. So I hope everyone already has installed the Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook, as we have already mailed you guys. So I'll just quickly briefly introduce you to Anaconda Navigator also. So here on Anaconda Navigator, basically this shows the environment. So here you can select different environments, because what happens sometimes is that if you want to utilize a library, but that library is sometimes dependent on some other library that is not compatible with other packages. So many times you need to create a new environment. So if you want to create a new environment, you generally go here, then you go to create. Okay. Yeah, so you create it and then you give a name, and then it can work out. And then there are a lot of apps that can be installed in the Anaconda Navigator, so that Python environment it will utilize. If I launch Jupyter Lab, it will open the Jupyter Lab in the browser. Then if I launch Jupyter Notebook, it will open the Jupyter Notebook. I can use Spider here. Even R can be used from the Anaconda environment. if you install packages, then R can also be accessed from here. You need not to go for R based packages, right? So there are other things like Orange and Qt console. So those things are also there, but we would be basically today focusing on Jupyter Lab. Now, so this is where the Python is run. Yeah. So I think now we can move toward Jupyter Lab environment. So let me quickly. So I want all of you guys to download this Jupyter Lab notebook, because this I am sharing in the chat now. So I have shared the link of this Jupyter Lab notebook, and I want everyone to, open this Jupyter Lab notebook from your Jupyter Lab environment. If you don't know how to open it, let me show you again once. So this is Jupyter Lab. You click launch here, and then it would open. It takes some time, but it would open this kind of structure you would see here when it opens. So just you need to drag and drop your file from the folder to here in this way. Here is where this is, or the directory it would show. So you can just drag and drop and open this file. So while people are doing it, if you are not able to do, please post a comment or something there. So I would, if I can help sometime, maybe after. Though let me start at the explaining, because we have a limited time. So this is basically a Jupyter Lab environment. What Jupyter Lab environment is? It is a kind of a browser-based Python environment where we can run the Python scripts. So we can, do a lot of things here. Let me first tell you, show you different interfaces here. Then we would move towards the scripts. So this is the file directory where all the files that are there in the folder that would be listed there. You can navigate to different folders from here. So yeah, then again there are you can see what are the.
Sorry, Vivek ji.
Yeah.
So there are number of input from participants. So would you like to take by yourself, or I have to I have to ask you to
if you can ask,
because see here one comment, sorry, one input. Can you explain again? So I think I think you have to take care of it.
Currently I am basically explaining how the interface is, so that if we know this interface, then only we can utilize it to its fullest, its maximum potential to write our scripts. So in Jupyter Lab, there are a lot of things that you can open. So you can open a Python notebook. If you want to open a new notebook, so you go to launcher and then you just click this one, then notebook is open, right? Then if I want to open a console, so a console is nothing but it is somewhere where Python scripts are run, or Python scripts can be run. So as I have shown you the previous example, I can show here also 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is basically recognizing the Python commands which are being supplied to it, right? So I think I got an input that we can wait for probably 5 minutes to let's get people started with this. People.
That is a good option. Meanwhile, Vivek ji, can you increase the font size of your system? Yes, a bit more, a bit more. Excellent. Now it is visible.
Is visible? I'm sorry, yes. It's not previously.
If you are comfortable, increase a bit
another
more.
Request. Another request to explain.
I'll explain it again. Yeah. So here, this you can see my mouse.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the place where you can see your files. So what are the current files that are there in your directory? So for me, these are the files that are there in my directory. This is one step. Second one is that as I have opened there several tabs. So each tab is representing a different thing. So here and there is this Python. IPyNV is basically extension for IPython notebook. So this is the Python notebook, and then this is again another Python notebook. This is the console. Console is a kind of place where you can write and test different codes or single line codes. Basically, you can send it here. Then, if I launch a new launcher, so launcher is a place where you can launch different things. So let's say I want to launch a terminal. And what is a terminal? Terminal is nothing but the window I have previously shown you. This one. This is called terminal. And whatever commands you are sending here, you can send directly. You need not to open all the time this one. You can control this thing from the Jupyter Lab itself. So if let's say I want to install a package, so installing a package here is like write pip. That is a library which is having a lot of packages. So pip, then install, and then you write. Let's say I want to install a library called matplotlib. So if I enter it here, so it would basically install the matplotlib for me. So this is the terminal for you. Now I will again open the launcher. So again, text file. Now, what is a text file? Why do we need it here? That is the main question. So many a times you would need to edit the Python script, not Jupyter notebook, but the Python script where you would save different functions, different. Yeah. So I still did not know how to start. Okay. I think we need to please request. Okay, so many people I am seeing that are not able to start the Jupyter notebook. So first, let us work on that. I will just close this one.
And
right?
Also about the interface, people are getting a different type of interface.
I'm understanding it. So let me start using here. If you are not able to start, I would recommend you click here environment. So for you, it would be showing here base. So open terminal. So you open terminal. It should show in this bracket base. Here, base means our base environment is activated. So if I'm sorry, size again is column. So yeah, so this you are seeing this base. So this environment, yeah, I have increased the size. I think yeah, it's now visible. So again, so environment you go here base, then open terminal. Once you open terminal, you would see this one base, then your address wherever your directory is. So I think if you are here, then you write Jupyter space lab and you enter. Then it would show you a lot of things, and then it would take you to this place. For me, there's some error. Then you will reach here. If this is okay, then I can probably go forward. Please, everyone, please check. Yeah, so it seems to be working. So now, as we are here, I have already sent you notebook file. That is link is there in the chat. So you open basically file here, and then probably no, sorry. You open this file here, then you drag and drop this file here, right? Okay, so somebody is still lost on the terminal. I will show it to you again. So You are here. Peter, I think, yeah. So you are here, then you write Jupyter, then lab, and then press enter. So that's it. This would make the Jupyter Lab work. So once we are here, I have already copy pasted this file, drag and drop here. Now I can open it. Now this is open. If everybody is open, we can move forward. So let's take it slow. Okay, file again. So this is the link if anyone lost the previous comment. Yeah, so if everyone is good with it, then we can probably go further. Access denied, unable to go. So this Dr. Thambidurai, is it? Can you switch on your mic if just?
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello. Yeah, Thambidurai speaking, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, as per your direction yesterday, I done everything. Okay, that Python and all the Anaconda package, everything I done. But now I just open command prompt. Then, as per your direction, I type Jupyter Lab. It's not going. It says like access is denied. So first, my request is just for opening the platform. You please. Slowly do, then maybe people will catch you. Even not opening the notepad or nothing, then how I can follow?
No problem. That's actually needed. That's why I shared the video previously because you are able to open this Anaconda Navigator.
Yeah, Anaconda Navigator I open, sir.
Then you click on environment. Okay. Then you go to base, and then you open terminal. Is it working till now? If
it's opening. Anaconda Navigator I opened, sir. Then
you click on the environment.
Okay.
Then you go here. This arrow is here. You click here and then open terminal.
Okay, you can go.
Okay. So if you are here, then just you need to type Jupyter space lab, all in small. There is no capital word, capital letter. So that way you would be able to open. If there is still problem, just let me know.
Environment.
Yeah. So I think
So I am in
do
Anaconda environment. Then where I have to go, sir? Oh, please 1 second,
yeah.
please.
You can
I
see my
open the
screen.
Anaconda Navigator and I am in environment. Then
Yeah. So
terminal.
base, there would be saying base, right? You click on it, open terminal.
No, I am in Anaconda Navigator and I click environment also. There is a arrow mark. Open terminal.
Okay.
Yeah, I opened the terminal. Fine. Thank you.
Now
I am in terminal now. I am in terminal. Thank you so much. I can follow you hereafter. Thank you.
so yeah. So for everyone, this is working now. Now you need to drag and drop this file here, which I sent you. You open it. I have explained already this portion where it would show all the open tabs, all the open kernels, all the open terminals. So what many times happens is if I open this file and if you can see this here, if font size is visible, I think, yeah. So here it is showing the what kernel, sorry, it's not showing for dragging. You cannot drag drop it, you mean to say? You can open your mic, that's not a problem, because it is a two-way workshop. It is not like a webinar or something like that.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Actually, sir, I could not find the file you have said. I have downloaded it and I go to the location, but it's not showing there.
You go to the location in the downloads.
Yes.
So no, it needs to. You need to check that one because I don't know how your computer where it is saving. So you can go to probably in the download section. Then downloads. You open the file location. Then it should work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir,
So,
once again, please, how to? This is not opening for me also. It's in the download. Can I export this file to directly to the?
so you click here. This one, this file, right?
Which one?
This one. You're able to see it? My mouse here.
Yeah,
Corner
yeah.
at the top corner. You click here.
No, this not yet come. This page is. I am not in this page.
No, they
I
will
am
not
actually.
see something like this.
Yeah. I am in Anaconda Navigator itself.
So you go to here probably, yeah, because it may waste a lot of time.
Tell me after environment, there are open terminal, open with Python, open with IPython, open with Jupyter Notebook. Which we have to open to export your file?
Just a minute. So my file export. See here you clicked open terminal.
Open terminal, fine. Then
yeah, open terminal. You clicked it.
Yes, clicked it to open the prompt page block, dark block. Yeah, this page opened.
Now you write Jupyter space lab. All small, there is no capital. So I think now we can move forward. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
No, it's access is denied, sir. Access is denied. It's not coming.
It's showing base.
No, users. Yeah, users. It's not showing. Base. It shows base, but
when you write space lab, it is not showing access denied.
Yes, J. Yes, sir. Again, it's error executing Jupyter command lab. Lab is right. No, whatever you return, lab is right.
I think
I don't know. Other people are facing the same problem, but for me, its access is denied because the error executing Jupyter command. Yeah, Jupyter lab is.
Okay, I will request you. Meanwhile, I am explaining others when we jump onto because this is still
no problem. Okay.
I'm explaining more of an interface now. So what meanwhile you can see probably you can go to Google Colab. That is also a Jupyter Notebook kind of environment that is run on Google server. If you are finding it difficult to open in your computer, I will suggest see Google Colab, search it, and see how to open it, how to register for it. Probably in fact, and you can set it up. I'll move forward.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, this is file. Yeah. So there are nowadays. Previously, it used to not be there, but yeah, nowadays they have provided static. I mean, a lot of add-ins which you can install in your Jupyter Lab that were built by the third-party users like us. So these are things. Then, so I would like to highlight here two things. One is terminal, one is console. So what is the difference between terminal and console? Terminal is like a command prompt where you would send commands to Windows or Linux or Mac. Here, Python 3 console is the command prompt where you would send files to Python. So this will not recognize any Python command, but this would recognize Python command, right? Yeah. Then text file I was explaining now. So this is a text file. Why we do have text file functionalities in this Jupyter Lab? So what you can do is you can save this file. Once I save text as I can save it as .py because the Python files which are there which would be written as, so I would say test.py, and once I save it, so now this is a Python file. So if I write like import let's say matplotlib, so this would basically show different colors and it would recognize it as Python. So while we are writing the code, it is important to have different colors for different things so that because many times you would make different typographic mistakes, or there are some syntax mistakes. So this color scheme basically it recognizes those things and it helps you in that way. Now, just a minute. So now we will move forward to person who was not able to open the Jupyter Lab from command prompt. Please open Anaconda prompt. Yeah. So yeah, please help each other so that people can really follow it up. Because if I go into each and everyone, then I would be solving a problem for one guy only. It would be a lot of wastage of time for everyone. So yeah, I would definitely. I mean, we would be taking questions intermediately. If you are not clear something, you can just ask me. That's not a problem, right? But we can only spare a limited up to a limited time. So
yeah, we will also open discussion at the end of the session. We will keep the open discussion.
So, yeah, we can probably open until unless everybody is set out, right? So now let's before jumping into Python, let's see how to handle this Jupyter Lab environment. What are the shortcuts? What are the things that can make your code writing more pleasant, more efficient? So if I want to run, so this file I have provided you because this would also serve as a guide for future. Because I would be teaching here, but what happens is that many times you teach programming and then people once they log out and then they will suddenly forget a lot of things. That's why I provided you this Python notebook. You can utilize it as a tutorial when you are not working. I have provided a lot of spaces for workaround also. So I know it would be, I mean, for many people, I mean, those who have just one screen of the computer, it would be difficult to open the Jupyter Lab as well as the things what I am showing. So yeah, so what you can do is probably divide Windows in half and half. So that way I think it can work. Otherwise, yeah, it is a little bit difficult in the online medium this way. So if I am running a code 2 + 2, then I want to run, sorry, this is not 8 + 2, 2 + 2. I want to use it as a Jupyter notebook as the calculator. So I can just shift and enter. So what is this would do? Shift and enter. This is bold here, right? Shift and enter. I have written the command. Shift and enter will basically run this command and move to the next file. So I run this one and it gives you 2 + 2 = 4. So this way you can run any selected cell. If I want to, let's say, run this one, I can run this one. But since this is a blank file, so it would not release. And another thing you need to notice here is that this is showing number 1. So why this is showing number 1? Because it shows Jupyter notebook basically shows an order. Order of what? Which cell run after which cell. So how does it really help? More font size increase. I mean, okay, I think this is now visible. Okay, so yeah. So in programming, what happens is that when you are writing anything like, let's say I'm writing a + 2 and I run this command. How do I run this command? Shift enter. This gives me error, right? Why this gives me error? Name a is not defined. So it is very important that a should be defined. If I, let's say, write a and a = let me give you a = 1. So I assign a = 1. Now this file is run, but this is still error. Why this is still error? Because this is 3, this is 2. This was run before when the a was not defined. So a was defined in the third step. So once a is defined, now I can go a + 2. So a + 2 now it will run, right? So yeah. So this way these numbers helps you to keep track of what variables you have already defined, what variables are there in the workspace. So that you need to take control of. Now another shortcut is Control B. So what Control B is? Everyone, please, if you have opened it, please press these shortcuts for because if you don't do it yourself, you would not really keep them in mind, or you would not really learn. So if I do Control B, it opens this sidebar, right? Again, if I want to hide this one, I can do Control B. Then if I want to do if I want to save this one, So just Control S, simple Control S is now here it will show saving complete at the bottom, right? Saving complete. So this is Control S. And what is checkpoint? Checkpoint basically is there are basically two types of save which basically Jupyter Lab employs. One is auto save. Yeah, control is basically control is basically no, Control V, it should be Control V. I think, I don't know about Mac. It should be Command V maybe. You can check that one. That's not a problem. So now control. I was explaining the checkpoint. So what is checkpoint is basically it employs two types of saving methods. So once it will auto save when you are writing code. Many times you will forget to really save it. So meanwhile, I mean, so once if something happens or some error happens and then you crash the Jupyter Lab environment and then you do not lose that kind of work. So Jupyter Lab for you keeps you saving on a different intervals. And then there is a manual save. So when you press this button here, save, or press Control S, right? So there are two steps. So it do the manual saving. So while it is saving the manually, it also create a checkpoint file. So let's say you saved here at 3 and then you wrote code up to here and then you forgot to really, or if something crashed or something you did some mistake, then you want to revert it back to last time when you saved it. So if you want to revert up to the point where the checkpoint happened, checkpoint means when you are saving it manually, Python creates a checkpoint or Jupyter Lab creates a checkpoint for you where you can revert back. So you go here and revert notebook to checkpoint, then it will revert back you to the last manual save. So this is a very helpful command. If you want to save this file again as a different name, you can employ Control Shift S. So if I employ Control Shift S, it would show me a file name. I can write probably 1 and then it would save. So now this is file 1 and then another file I can. So another file I can see here in Control B. If you see lecture 1 previously that was there and then now new file is created as that is basically that came from the save as, right? Now again I will press Control B to hide this sidebar as we have already learned this shortcut. Now many times you would write a lot of big codes and then you want to find some variable where you defined it. So you would press Control F. When you press Control F, you would see here. Let's say I want to look for this word modes. So I would search mode and then press this button. For the bottom, it would highlight this word. Let's say if I want to replace this word with something, let's say to styles, let's say, then if I replace this one, so this would basically replace this word, and then you can keep going. Like if there are 10 modes defined and you want to change everything into styles, then it would change everything. So that's also another helpful tool which would be useful. Now there are two modes when you are operating in the Jupyter Lab environment. So one is the command mode, another is the edit mode. So what is command mode? What is edit mode? Let's say I'm clicking here. This blue bar is showing. This blue bar is showing. I cannot now do anything with there is no cursor. There is no blinking cursor for me. So I cannot really write the codes. If I write, let's say G H, I'm pressing. I've pressed two buttons, G H. You can also press on your button. So those two buttons did not do anything because we are in the command mode. Command mode is used when you are running the code or you are changing between the different codes. So if I'm in the command mode and I want to go on the top cell command mode. So what I would do is I would press up key. On the keyboard there is an up key for like you have all direction arrow keys. So if you press up key or down key, you can move from the different cells. So if let's say I'm here and then I want to run this one, so I would press Shift Enter here. Now I'm on the next part, then I can run third cell. Let's say yeah. So this is basically I can go like this. So this is our command mode. Now what is edit mode? Edit mode is when I'm writing the code there. So if I click here using mouse, so now you see this cursor blinking. Now this cursor is basically the point where you can write the code. So if I can again write 2 plus 2. I'm not writing complex thing, anything. I'm writing 2 plus 2 just to get you started. You know, so so don't worry about that. Why we are not learning the Python. So it would get started, and when it gets started, it would keep getting getting complex. So if I write 2 plus 2, then yeah, I can run this cell now. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So this cell is run. Now when you are running the shift enter, you can also run the line from here. If you are running this one current cell, so see it is showing the run the current cell. If you take here, if you run this one, so if you are running a file or if you are running a cell, so it would switch you from code to command. Yeah. Now these are shortcuts for the up and down arrow, up arrow. I have written this here. Now if you, let's say you want to add a cell, like I am having a cell here, and I want to add another cell at below it or above it. So what are the shortcuts? Let's say I want to add a cell above this one. So I will press A. Is it working for everybody? If anybody is not able to follow, please put a comment. Then we can go another time. No problem. That's not a problem. So if I want to then again add a cell below it, you would definitely see the utility why we are basically learning these shortcuts, because they would be very helpful while you are trying to solve the bugs and trying to write the real code. So if I press B, yeah, B, just B, not shift B, not control B, not alt B. This is simple B. So B will basically add another cell here. Now there are two types of, when you are in edit mode, there are two types of cells. So as if I'm clicking on this cell, it is showing me code. If I click here, this would show Markdown. What is Markdown? Markdown is basically, you can say, a user-friendly kind of hypertext, simple hypertext language, which is basically easy to make the documentation, because there are many a times what you need is you would need to prepare these kind of notebooks in form of reports. So these reports, what they will do, they can basically run on the, like, let's say you want to update your results for daily data, and what you would do, you would prepare this kind of Markdown documentation, and you would write codes for generating the plot. And once you export this file into here from export notebook as PDF, so this PDFs will be generated, and for daily you can update your results and prepare the report within just one click. So these Markdowns are helpful in that also, as well as while you're writing the code, it also helps you to keep the comments and documentation for your code. So that's also another way. Now this is the code, and if I click here, this is a Markdown, right? So if I want to, let's say, convert this line into the Markdown, so what I would do is that, as you see, it is written here M. So I will just press M. Now this has been converted to Markdown. And let's say if I want to write Python, right? So I can just run it. So this is compiled. If I write Python like this in code, then what it would do? It would give me error, because Python is yet not defined. Python means it is taking this as a variable, and we have not defined any variable that is Python. We would see how to define a variable. What is a variable? That we would discuss in this lecture. So again, now if there is this kind of output, I can clear it using clear output, right? So yeah, if I want to convert it again to the code, so what I would do, I would press Y. And these M and Y, these shortcuts will not work if you are in edit mode. If you are in edit mode and then you press M, it would basically type it, or if you press Y, it would basically type it. But if you are in command mode, so I clicked here, and if you are in command mode, then if I press M, it would convert it into the Markdown, as you can see it here, right? I think, yeah, this is working out for everyone. Everyone is understanding it. Yeah, so it's good. Now, these syntax I have covered. Yeah, so if you want to select multiple cells, so you can basically shift up and or shift down like you do in other Windows-based environment. If you want to select multiple files or multiple lines in the Word file, so this is same basically. Then if you want to select all cells, then Control C. Now, if you want to cut a cell, let's say I want to move this markdown cell basically to below this one. So what I would do, I need not. Unlike Windows environment where you press Control X, you can press X here, simple, and it is 1, right? Simple X will cut it, and then let's say I am pasting it here. Then I will press V. So this file came here, right? I pressed V, so created a cell here below it now, so that it looks uniform. Okay. Now let's move toward another one. Yeah. So many times what happens is that you would want to merge several cells. So basically, many times you what happens is that you write some code here and then you are writing, because in one go you can run one cell. You cannot really in Jupyter Lab you cannot really just one line. So you write one line here, like let's say a plus a equal to 2, and I write here a plus 2. So I run this line and I run this line. So now these are two different lines, and now I want to merge them so that they are one code together. So what I will do, this is Shift M. Shift M I press. So this also merges the markdown cell, right? So now you can just basically comment it. This would not be a problem. Now if you press Shift Enter is for running this cell, or you can press here, right? So this would give you direct code. So I think this is again very clear now. Let's say you want to delete a code. So what you would do, you go into selected cell here. So this blue line is showing which cell is selected in the command mode. These all codes, all the shortcuts I'm showing, they are all working in the command mode. We would see in at the next how to do it, how to do different things in edit mode. But for now, you just be sure that you are in command mode. Otherwise, these commands would not work. So you press double D and it would delete it, as already it is written here, right? Also, if you are using mouse, you can basically, if you want to shift somewhere, some cell somewhere, you can just drag and drop here. If you just take your mouse at the left and then you click it and then you basically drop it, right? So this is again, if I want to do some, if I want to do, let's say, undo something, then I can just in command mode I can press Z and it would undo whatever previously I did. So this is again a very useful command. Now let's go to edit mode. I think I will take maybe 2 minutes break. It is continuously I'm talking. If anybody has any doubt or something, we can discuss it. So put it into chat or open your mic. Feel free.
Yeah, open your mic for direct interaction now.
I think yeah, everybody seems to be clear.
Great.
Yeah, that's totally clear.
That's totally clear.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good. Yeah. So like you are now learning, it looks like people are, I mean, they are well versed with the shortcuts in Jupyter Lab now. They can, just manage. That's good. I'm happy. Now things are okay. Good. So yeah, let's move to edit mode because we have limited time and I cannot really take a long break. We got late, yeah. So now how to change from command mode to edit mode from the keyboard only. You can definitely click here from the mouse, and here if you click it is edit mode, here it is command mode. But when you are writing the code, you generally, I mean, you feel hating to touch your mouse, so you generally try to use every shortcut you can utilize while writing the code. So I'm in now command mode, as you can see this blue cursor here. And if I want to go into the edit mode, what I would do is I would just press enter. So a minute. yeah, so I think actually I was searching if I can find some software that is readily available, which can show my basically my keyboard strokes to you, because maybe sometime as I'm speaking, maybe it may not be clear. So I think yeah. I'll just switch my screen because it's showing on. Yeah, so my now screen grabs are visible. So yeah. Okay. I think it looks better. Now if I'm in edit mode, so this is the command mode. Right now I will just leave the mouse, and if I press enter, I am in the edit mode now. If I want to go back to command mode, what I would do, I would press escape. Escape. Now I'm in the command mode. I can really move it here, right? If I want to again go to the edit mode, so enter. That's good. Now, if many times in Python the importance of indent is very useful. So if we are writing, probably when tomorrow we will learn about for loop, if condition. So you would need to write code with the intent. Like if I write small code, like I would not be explaining what I'm doing, but you would need indents to really write the code. If I'm writing like range 10, so you see here, this is not starting command from here. If you are here, then you need to press tab, so that this is one indent. Now you need to write code here like print I. So this way, I mean, indent would be useful. So tab basically you can utilize for writing indents. Now I would again go to the command mode. Command mode is pressing escape. Shift tab you can use help. That's fine. So many times you are writing code. So let's say I'm writing, let's say import num, and I don't know what this library called. So I will press tab. And what Python would do, Python would search what are the libraries that start with the, what are the functions or libraries that start with this. So I would select numpy, and then many times, I mean, many times it would be helpful to write the spelling mistake free code. So get habituated to this tab button while writing the code. That's it. Yeah, shift tab you can use basically when you are writing. Let's say I'm writing print, and then I press shift tab. Did you notice what I did? I write print and then shift tab. So it would show like how to write this function, what things are there, what are the descriptions. So it can be very useful when you are writing code and you don't really remember what input it takes, because there are like millions of functions in Python, and then you would not be able to remember everything. So yeah, that's the shift tab and tab for you. Now I would go again to the command mode. Now if I want to split a cell into two parts. So what happens is that, let's say again I will write that same code, a equal to 2, and then a plus 1. Sorry, a plus 1. So you wrote this code, and then there is let's say I wrote this also. Now let's say it is giving error, and you don't know what wrong you are doing. Even though this is very simple here, you are able to understand it. But many times when the codes are complex, or you are using the functions that you don't know very well, so many times it would be error, and you want to run it separately, because your code is working till this line. Till this line you're working, but after this line you have the problem. So to bug solving, you need to split this cell into two parts. So you basically take your cursor either here at the end of this line or beginning of this line, and then you press Control Shift and minus. It would split your cell into two parts from this cursor. So before cursor there is a different cell, after cursor there is a different. So that's another shortcut for you. I will press again escape to go to command mode. Now yeah, so as I showed you the indent command, for indent, let's say I'm writing this. So for indent, you can also use Control plus capital bracket, bigger one, to go in the right, and again left one to go in the left. So yeah, that's clear, I think. Yeah. So again, Control plus forward slash will help you to comment all the line. Let's say you wrote something like a lot of so many lines you want to comment. So one way is to in Python if you write hash, and so after hash it would not recognize any line. When Python is running this line, if I run this code, let's say this code, then if it says name B is not defined, but it does not say name A is not defined, because A it is not reading, because there is a hash place before it. So it is basically making this as a comment, right? So this is comment for you. Now I can do like go in each line and write hash, or there is another way. I select all the cells which I want to make comment, then press Control and then slash forward slash. So Control plus forward slash will basically help you to comment, and then if you want to, let's say, uncomment it now, so I can again press Control plus slash and it would uncomment it. This is forward slash, right? Just yeah, don't go for the backward slash. Now let's come to the place where like how to make your codes beautiful. So that's another part. Because you are writing the codes, this is all I have explained to you about the codes, but I did not explain to you how did I make these these headings and then these comments. So how did I make these things so beautiful? Now we would move toward that one. So now this is called basically the place where we are writing these codes is basically this cell is Markdown cell, and Markdown is a different language in its own. So you would see many places where Markdown is being used. If you are GitHub kind of developer, then you would see that there are README files that are there written basically using Markdown. And if you have any Markdown file separately, then it would let me show you. So it would have then extension MD. So Markdown file, this is if I show. So this is basically showing .md file, right? So .md file you can write here a lot of things. I will explain the syntax in here. So yeah, now let's get to the basic syntax. So first is writing the heading. So how do you really write the heading? So headings are written using hash. So if I write hash heading, now you see here this cell is still code. I need to convert it to Markdown before I run this in the as a Markdown text. So I press escape. I go into command mode. Now I press Control Enter. Control Enter. What is the difference between Shift Enter and Control Enter? So when I'm doing Shift Enter, it is running this cell and taking me to the next one. And if I want to remain in this cell only, I don't want to go in the next cell, so I press Control Enter. If I press Control Enter, this runs this cell as well as it remains here. But you see this does not do anything. Why? Because I did not do space here. So now I have given the space here. Now I can run this cell. Sorry, this is again still code. I need to convert this into a Markdown. I will press Escape and press M. M was the shortcut for. And as you press the mark, and this is the Markdown, and it started recognizing it as a heading. It started showing you a different color, right? Now I can run Control Enter, and it would make a heading out of it. So there are several types of heading that if you are aware of the in the MS Word, you can write level 1 heading, level 2 heading, level 3 heading. So here also you can write level 1 heading. So if I show you that this is the table of content, here you can see all the headings that are defined, that are there. Task list, table, link, what are the different levels of heading. So you can utilize this one I will press Control B now to hide it. Now, if I want to write, let's say, level 2 heading, so double has, then heading 2. Then if I write Control Enter, this has this. You see, this text is a little bit smaller than this. So please don't just see if you are like just I mean looking at this screen and then learning. It would not work. Trust me. I mean you keep both of these side by side somehow and then try to do it by yourself also. I mean it would really keep in your memory, and then if there is an error you can discuss it. Yeah. So this is the heading. You can go up to 6 levels of heading. So like you are having main heading, then subheading, then another subheading, then this way you can go up to 6 different subheadings. So this works. So you increase this number of has here. This is level 3. If I increase up to 6, and let me. So we are here in command mode. I will press enter. So we are again in the this mode. Let me show you 3, 4, 5, 6, and H6. This works well. H6 is giving result, but if I add another hash here, then this would basically convert it into the normal text. So this goes up to only 6 levels of heading. So either you can double click on a cell to convert it into the edit mode, or you can press enter. Right. So I will just delete this one and Control Enter. So now again now how to bold the text. So you see here I have provided you how to bold the text. So if I want to write double, so if let's say I'm having I am attending SYAHI workshop, right? And I run it. Sorry, because why it is an error? Because this is still a code cell. We need to convert it into the markdown. So I press M and it is converted into the markdown. I run it. It gives me simple text. Now I want to convert it into the bold. So bold is done using double star, as I have already provided here the context. So double star. Then I run Control plus Enter. This makes it bold. Right. So let's say if I want to convert only SYAHI workshop as bold, I can do this way also. Yeah, so there is this space. You cannot give space while you are writing bold. That is another problem. Yeah. So this makes the only 2 words basically. Yeah. Same thing with the italic. If you write if you basically press only just one star, it would convert it into the italic. You see the SYAHI workshop is now italic. So these bold and italic things are very useful while you are describing the codes or writing the comments or preparing the reports. Many times like reports are prepared like Word files or something like that. So these are very helpful. If you want to write block code, so I can probably so block code is basically written using this. So I can say this is block code, right? So if I convert this into markdown first and then I press enter. So you see this small line is showing, and this is showing the kind of block code as you would see on different websites on the internet. So again, yeah. So another thing I mentioned to forgot initially is what you can do is that you can just export this file as HTML file. So this is when you are writing this kind of documentation, and you can export this as HTML file, and you can, if you have a website, you can just upload it there, and it would so all this kind of formatting, if you don't know the HTML thing, so that you can also utilize this markup text language for writing HTML files or emails or something. Yeah. So a lot of users are there for the HTML ones. So
Dr.
if you want to,
excellent. Dr. Gupta, excellent. So we need to have a break for 4 to 5 minutes, then we will start so that people can go for natural call, and then they'll come back. So we should take a 5-minute break here, and we will have exciting session ahead for next 1 hour. So I'm requesting all attendees, you can go for water and natural call, and then we will resume our session after 5 minutes. So does it sound good? You are muted, Pankaj.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, great, Prakash. Although I already downloaded the attendees list, I'm going to post a like a form to make attendance. So I request you all, whenever you are free, to do this list, just provide us your input. Thank you, dear.
Excellent. I think Dr. Gupta was uh, explaining everything from the basics. If you have any questions, any issues, please do not hesitate to email us, and we will there to resolve those issues. And as far as Python is concerned, yeah, there are a lot of YouTube videos as well. So if you are beginners, feel free to reach out to YouTube. There are a lot of videos where you can learn how to install, how to troubleshoot the initial problems when you install the Anaconda, Navigator, Jupyter, anywhere. So please feel free to check out all those videos from different authors as well. So this is just an initiative where we want to introduce Python to young scholars, and this is a part of learning process. If you want to learn, because we everybody learn from YouTube, we also learn from YouTube. So please feel free to reach out to any channels, any authors, and then do not hesitate to email us. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Dr. Gupta is ready, then we will
One
start.
more thing,
And
Prakash.
yeah. Mhm.
I request all participants to at least open your camera for a group photo for a minute.
At the end, I think we can document it. Yeah, because many people might
Okay.
have gone to bio
Okay.
break.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget about the. Okay, so we will keep this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a kind of informal workshop where you want to interact with
With all
people,
you.
collaborators, and as well as your friends. So we are friends, right? So this is kind of informal workshop, and try to interact, email us, get the phone number, try to contact us. We are ready to help you by any means what we can. So please feel free to reach out to us, and then this is just a beginning. We will do all together. So I can see a lot of faces, exciting and smiling faces here. And if you want, Dr. Pankaj, you can take a screenshot. I can see the smiling faces of
Yeah.
young scholars across the globe. I can see Basrat, I can see Sadab, Srinivas, Aparna, Patrick, West Peter. Oh, exciting! All smiling faces. Oh, great, great. So yeah, this is a kind of environment or collaboration, or you can say platform where we want to have young scholars who can share their ideas, who can share their views, their research, their skill set. I am excited. So whenever everyone is ready, we will resume our next 1 hour session. Our speaker, Dr. Gupta, is getting ready, and then we will resume our next remaining part of the session. And meanwhile, if you have any comments, feedback, or any suggestions, please email us. Do not hesitate to email us, contact us through phone. We will always improve ourselves, because this is just a beginning and just an initiative. So we all have to build it together, right? So yeah, I think Dr. Gupta will come
Yeah, I'm
soon, and
back.
then
I'm
soon.
yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Gupta is
Agree.
back now.
Maybe
So
I'm not.
well, so let's switch off our camera, and then we will continue our remaining part of the session. And yeah, so yeah, Dr. Gupta, over to you.
Yeah. So I would like to actually add one point before I start. As this workshop being organized, so it is basically open for all. It's not like that you need to only learn. If you know some tools, if you are good at something you think you are good at, just drop us a mail and we would organize a workshop where you would teach that tool to others. So it's like learning together. So that is another part where you can do. If you have some write-up blog, you can just post it on our website. If you have published any new paper and if you are a member of our SYAHI, just let us know that you have published the paper. We will list it on our website. So there are a lot of things that people can do here and learn together, grow together, collaborate together, solve the India's problem. Yeah.
Okay, Dr.
So
Gupta, you can continue now. So I'm again requesting all just a brief housekeeping. If possible, could you please switch off your cameras and mic as well? And then Dr. Gupta will continue the remaining part of the session. Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Yeah. Now, now we can do a list like, so list is simple, very simple, like 1 point something. First item, 2 points, second item. So this way, I mean, you can list and it would recognize it as the numbered list. So when you do it, it is basically, yeah, same. For the unordered list where you want the black dot before it, so you can basically write dash space then your listing item. So it would convert it into the dots, right? So this is again very easy. If you want to write a block of code, let's say I'm writing some code. Let's say I'm writing say fourth level heading I'm writing and code I say, and then I write sorry, this code and okay. So then if I convert it into Markdown and then I press enter, control enter, so you see this text and this printing style. This is basically on different platforms you would see this is a coding style. And let me again clarify this symbol. This is not the single inverted comma. This is the symbol. I don't know what it is called, hyphen or something. Just it is with the hyphen and above tab key. So in most of the keyboard you would find it above the tab key. So and this is also the same. This is not a different one. So I want to be clear about it. So yeah. Now if you want to let's say add a line, so you can basically see 1, 2, 3, 3 dots, then 2, convert it into the Markdown, press enter. Okay, I don't know, something is not working here probably. I'll check it out, no problem. So horizontal rules can be made when you are writing a long paragraph, so that we can see it little later why it is not working. Then if you want to add a link to somewhere like you are writing a documentation where you want to provide a link to your paper or somewhere, then you can write a way like you put this bracket and write any text here. Let's say I want to write a hyperlink text, then click here, right? And then if now I would provide a website where I want you to forward. So if I Control C and I paste this website here, I press escape to go to the command mode, press M to get into Markdown, control enter. And now this will convert this click here to this kind of link, and I press click here. So it would take you basically to the SYAHI website and membership. If you have not taken it, please do it. Again, if you want to enter images from the web or probably from the local system, you can write the address, local address, as well as the website. It will take all the addresses. So if I print it here, so it would basically print this logo which is available on the website, right? So again, I will press enter. And what is this text? Basically, you can write any text here. So what this text would be useful for is, let's say, I press again enter, this would again print it, right? Now if I enter it again and let's say I miss this address, and now what would happen is that there is no such address, and this Jupyter Lab will not be able to find this address. So what it would do is basically when I enter, it would show you broken image kind of, and this would show this text. So I can write here something like link is broken, and I press Control plus Enter, so it would show link is broken. So this way you can control it. Now, if you want to write a long code, so what you would do is basically this symbol again, which we use for coding, for writing the code above the tab. Then this is 3 times, and again three times. So this is the code where now if whatever I write in between, this would be considered as code. So I can write anything. Let's say I write the same thing, and then I go to Markdown, and it would be, this would come as a code. You see this text is different, and this is kind of plain text language, right? I forgot, I think this table. So table you can define this way. You press this key above enter or return key with the shift, what it is called, I don't know the name. So basically form basically first 3 elements, column 1, column, these are the headings. Then you can copy these one for the horizontal rules. Then again similar thing, like here you see whatever you can do. Like I'm just copy pasting to save the time, but it is same. So you write it, then press M, and it would form a very beautiful table. You can see if you take the mouse to over here, it would also show you the highlighted color. Now, yeah, if you want to write a text which is crossed one, so you can add these 2 hyphens here. So let me show you these hyphens here. Now I can write this text is crossed. So I need to convert this into the Markdown before running. Now it's not running because I have given an error. This space needs not to be given. Now you see this is crossed now. So this way you can write, you can do that task list also as well. Copy paste it and show it to, because we are running out of time and we have another tutorial to cover. You can write what are, this is tick mark, this is not tick mark, like Jupyter Lab, learn syntax for Markdown, we are learning it, learn Python, we will do it. So you can also add latex files here. So if you are writing the inline mathematics, then you can do this back slash and then.
ननोला साइंस की बुक ला मैं रिवीजन करवाऊं बेटा.
Okay, now I got this. Okay, so if the latex I want to write, so this is the environment you use, backslash, bracket open, backslash, bracket close, and whatever you write in between, it would be considered as the mathematics, as in latex. Those who knows latex, they would understand it. So, sorry. Okay, I think. Somehow there is some problem. Previously was running. Let me. Yeah. So somehow this is not working. Let me try this one. I don't know, some problem happened, but yeah, this should work. We can see if this is not working for you. If you can try it. For me, somehow something might have went wrong in the environment setup. So yeah, previously it was working, but now it's not working. So it happens sometimes by then. So yeah, this is part of lecture 1 that gets completed. Now, I think most people who have attended this session, they are able to do a lot of things in Jupyter Lab, at least not in Python definitely, but and a lot of formatting and all you can do. So now we would move toward part 2. So I will again drag and drop here. I need to click here at files. Then I can drag and drop this lecture 2 file here. And if anybody has any doubt, please put into the chat and we can take those out for maybe 2-3 minutes.
I think before Dr. Gupta moves to the lecture part 2, we would just request everyone, this is the first session and it may be some tiring one. So we will have second session tomorrow as well. So whatever left today, we can do tomorrow as well. So we will do next 15 minutes from now. And then after we will have some slight interaction if you want to interact, what problem you had during download, during installing, and then remaining session we'll do tomorrow. So we will have 15 minutes more for today's session, and then we want to keep last 10 minutes to discuss. So over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Yeah, so I did not share the lecture 2 file. I will just share it. Chat. So yeah, people, you guys can download this file. The table part, yeah. So very simple formatting for table. There is nothing very complex. So like you have these, what these vertical lines called, Dr. Prakash, do you know? With the backslash, there is this another key. With shift, you can write it. So you define the line of the table basically. Then you write your text. Let's say I want to write, let's say heading 1. Then let's say that will be column 2. Then you give a line that okay, this heading is completed, and now So if that you need to remember before running this that if you have 3 columns, then you need to have these 3 lines here. If you miss it, then it would not compile. It would give you directly. It would paste you the text. So again, if you then you need to add rows. I can add 2 more rows basically by copying it. Yeah. So now this is a markdown. You need to see this is markdown, and then you run Control Enter. This would make a very beautiful table again. Yeah. So Alok, I think it is clear. So yeah, I think everybody downloaded part 2 now. We can move toward variable and data type. So variables and data types, basically it is very important part where any language you would learn, this is the first basic starting point where you would learn what is variable and what are the data types that you can use in this particular language. So what is a variable? Variable is basically a location in the memory. So let me draw you if I can probably go. So you guys display. Yeah, so you can see the blank file now. I would break. So let's say this is our computer memory, right? And this is all your hard disk. There are a lot of slots. I'm sorry for bad drawing, but yeah, to explain this concept, it is important to have this kind of idea. So you would have kind of 8-byte system or 16-byte system or a 64-byte system. So there would be slots for I mean computer basically understands the language of 0 1. He would not understand if you give it a command a equal to 2, it would not really understand a or what is 2. It would understand how to define this 2 into the language of the whole command into 0 and 1. So it would have these slots where you can assign either 0 or 1, 0 or 1. So this way it would have kind of memory. So when you define a variable, let's say you say a equal to 2. So it would basically store 2 in, let's say your variable is, let's say 8-bit type. So it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would take 8-bit. These 8 would. I can change the color. So this 8 bits it would take, and it would store a value of 2 into this. So value of 2 means this would be 0, this would be 0, this would be 0, and I think 0, 1, and 0. So this way it is storing your value, and this would also link this memory part of the memory to a variable name. So that variable name you are saying it as a. So when you keep defining different variables, it would keep storing different. It would keep taking different slots. Sometimes it would store here, sometimes it would store here, or sometimes in other parts of the memory. So this is a very big memory setup where like we have kind of in the and this memory system basically this works in the temporary memory that is part of RAM. So basically if you have like 8 GB RAM, so you have 8 GB of this kind of stuff, and where you can store your variables that are currently there in your workspace. So that is how this variable forms. Let's move toward, yeah. So how do you really assign a variable an address? So in Python, this equal to sign is very important sign. So whatever is right to this equal to is basically a value, and whatever is left to the equal sign, this is basically a memory. This is an address to the memory. So as I have shown you the memory address, so it will basically link it to some part of memory. So the thing is going from here to here. You need to always remember this. Here to here. It will never go from here to here. This is a very, very, very basic and common mistake that beginners do. So many times you would write like a equal to b, and you try to run it, and you see there is an error. Name b is not defined. Why it is not defined? Because there is no address allocated to this one. There is no b. There is no, so because this is going this way. Even though if you let me define a table here a, and a equal to 2. So there is this 2 has gone to the memory of your system. There is a name that is given a in your memory. Now computer recognize, now Python workspace recognize a. But if you run this, this would again give you a. Why? Because memory is going from here to here. This would not go from here to, it would not assign b into a this way. So if I write b, let's say if I write b equal to a, so a is linked into the memory. Now a would move to the b. So if I run enter, this has worked, right? So this has worked. Why? Because a is into our memory, and the same address has been assigned as b also. So if you write either a or b, this would indicate the same slot in the memory. This is a very important concept, even though it seems very simple, but this would be very, very useful when you write complex code, because you need to understand how things are going into memory, after which variable is going. When you are running a for loop and you are modifying the same variable from values of same variable, then things will be so complex, and you need to understand what memory I am modifying and in what loop, and which portion of is still unmodified. So that way it would be useful. We will see it tomorrow if we get time. So again, a is the variable name here, equal is the assignment operator, and 100 is the value, as I was 100. So I think this part is clear. If this part is clear, then only you would understand the further part. So there are few rules about the variable names. When I say a or b, there are some rules about it. So let's say okay, you cannot write, like if I want to write a variable, my variable, there cannot be a space, my variable equal to 2. Now it would give an error. Why? Because this does not really recognize. This recognize this part, but this don't know what to do with this part. There is space and there is no, I mean, syntax is not clear to it. So either you write it this way, my variable equal to 2, or you can use an underscore. So there are special symbols in computer, but it does not recognize, Python does not recognize any kind of special symbols. So here, when I'm saying you about this, I'm not talking about Jupyter Lab. We have already done Jupyter Lab part. I'm talking about Python now. So if I write my variable equal to 2, this would accept it because there is no space into it. There is no special symbol. Let's say I change this with this symbol, then this would not recognize it. So you need to always remember, because otherwise it would give an error. This is a very common error for the beginners. So that's why I'm very much emphasizing on it. Now I can even assign a string or a text to a variable. So again remember, this 2 is going this way. This Vivek Gupta, it is my name. It is going this way. So this again ran without an error. Why? Because this is a text that is being generated. This is not a variable. There is a difference between text and variable. We will see it when we learn about the string. So this is being assigned, and how to see what is inside the variable. So you write this variable's name. You can copy it, Control C, Control V. So this is my name, and this would show the Jupyter notebook. Basically, this would show you the last part which has run. So it is showing inverted comma Vivek Gupta, right? So this my name has been assigned in the memory as this text. This is clear. Now, Dr. Prakash, is the time up?
Yeah, I think we will interact at the end. As an audience, I could not resist myself to continue, but we will do it tomorrow. No worries. I think we did installing and download, and we want to interact with audience and attendees. If they have any issues with the team, MS team, they can freely put in the chat, or they can talk. And I think we will stop our session here, but we will continue our discussion for next 5 minutes. Discussion will be like what are the problems you had, and you can ask freely to Dr. Gupta that okay, I had problem in download and install, then he can guide you as well. And then if you have any housekeeping problems like using MS Team, we should shift to Zoom, or yeah, let us know what are the housekeeping difficulties you have. So I think I request Dr. Gupta to stop sharing the screen, and then we will have interaction among with us. So if you want to switch on your camera, switch on your microphone, please do so at this time. And feel free to ask any question if you encounter any issues. Anyone? Oh. Can Jupyter be worked on offline? Yes. Jupyter.
Yes, it is not online. Jupyter is basically, it is working offline, but it is working in the browser. So it's not that you are using internet for running it. So your server is basically offline. When I say, let me show you my screen quickly. So you would see the address at the top. So you see this address. This says you localhost 8891. So 8891 is the port. Localhost is your address. Localhost means localhost is like your local computer's address. It is not any internet address. So whatever you are running, it is running in local system offline, but the interaction of Jupyter Lab is in the browser. If you don't have a browser, you cannot run it. That is the main problem. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. There are a lot of fun facts about Python. I can see there one question from Patrick. No issues from my side. Thanks to Dr. Gupta. Hard work to teach programming as online course. Thank you for your feedback, Patrick. We will do tomorrow as well. So there are a lot of fun facts about Python. So I would request everyone, if you join tomorrow, please go through all those comments and download, install instructions, and then learn those fun facts. Those are on the website. So if you go to your IDLE interactive environment, just type import this. If you type import this, you will get the poem written by the Tim. Tim is a major contributor of Python. So once he wrote poem, you will get the poem in the Python. It's universal code, import this, and try that. You will get that poem. And similarly, people are always asking about what is Python? Is it about snake? No, Python is a comedian, British comedian, and the developer who was very fond of British comedians. So he during Christmas he was coding, and then he wrote the project name as a Python. So Python is the name of British comedian, not a Python snake. So there are a lot of fun facts in the Python. We will learn along with our workshop series. And there is a question called, what is the difference between Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab? Excellent question, Dr. Gupta.
So yeah, so let me show you in the screen. Did you try to open the Jupyter notebook into the Python command? Python, sorry, Anaconda Navigator, try to open it. Let's discuss this one, because see, once I will open it, then I can show you the comparison, like how, what are the differences. Opens it. I don't know, for me it is pretty slow. So what difference is it? Basically, earlier there was no Jupyter Lab. There was only Jupyter Notebooks. So you could only create the notebooks, and you can run a server in the terminal, and then on the web you can paste the IP address, and then you basically run your notebook and run the command run. But people realize that over time that we don't only need to write the notebook. We also need a place where we can write our core raw Python script. We also need a place where we can write a format, a markdown language. We need a place where we can develop our add-ins. We need a place where we can send directly commands to the terminal or console. So there was requirement of more tools around that Jupyter Notebook. People really loved that Jupyter Notebook concept, but they were, I mean, there were some drawbacks and some limitations that were kind of making it difficult for people to use it. And as the data science community grew, so this Jupyter Lab eventually came like 2-3 years back, and there are a lot of functionality, a lot of power they have given to Jupyter Notebook, and they launched it as Jupyter Lab. So now you can basically, inside a Jupyter Lab, you can have Jupyter Notebook. So that's basically a total difference.
Yeah, I can just add on here that Jupyter Lab is a next generation, you can say, interface where we have notebook as well as we have access of HTML, text, anything you can access there along with your console command. There's one more question from Andurban. Sorry, I did not pronounce his name properly. Difference between Spider and Jupyter. Excellent. How to choose among these?
So, yeah, so both are basically IDE people. Many people prefer Spider. Many people prefer Jupyter Lab. So Spider, you can run. You need not to run a server, Python server, as you say, on the Spider. So people generally, when you are, if you are like mostly, I've seen people who are transported from MATLAB to Python. They love to use Spider because Spider is more similar to the environment, the CE, the variable explorer, the main thing. So there are a lot of things that are very useful in Spider when you are writing complex code or complex kind of where you are defining different classes, different functions. Then you would prefer the Spider better. If you are doing development in an interactive environment where you want to save your work, you want to share your work with others. I mean, as you see in the Jupyter notebook, whatever you run, the output remains there. So if you want to share this file with another of your colleagues, you can directly share this file with your colleague. And another benefit of Jupyter Lab and Notebook is over the Spider is that when you are working on a Linux server, so like let's say you have access to cluster computing or kind of supercomputer resources, and so there on the supercomputer they run on basically a kind of Linux server, and those servers were developed back in 90s, and they do not really support any kind of GUI based software. So what you do is there, you basically run a server, Python server there, and then you access that server through your browser, web browser. So that way you can use, I mean, Jupyter Lab better in terms of when you are working on a cluster or you are working on a Linux server. So that's another benefit.
Excellent. So there's a technical question here now. While opening Navigator, I got error called check host name. Required, please suggest the fix.
Host name server. So your this error is coming in the Navigator itself, or when you are you're not able to open. Are you able to open this terminal or the command prompt from there? Aman, please comment there, or if you open your mic, that's not a problem. So Aman, if you can open the mic, that would be better because I can understand. Sorry, not having. Okay, no problem. So I don't know, like this error I have seen for the first time. I think we can sit sometime and then try to solve it, or I will show you. If, let me show you. So you open the command prompt here, like CMD, command prompt run as administrator. You can do this. This would work at least, yeah, for everyone, I'm sure. So you write here if this command works. Conda activate base. Just see if this works. Okay. Yeah. This Conda activate base. All is small, nothing is capital. So then once you write this, if this works well, so this base would come here. So it's all the same now. You write here Jupyter base lab, and this should get you to the Jupyter Lab environment. Right? If you don't want to go through the sometimes it is laggy. Yeah. So yeah. Next question. Video
Next
recording
question
definitely. Yeah.
One more question is that, is it possible to perform what we're doing earlier in command prompt?
What we were doing earlier, yeah, everything is possible from command prompt. Yeah. So that is the core. I mean, everything you are running here is basically going into the command prompt. So, but yeah, these all formatting and all, they will not definitely come to the command prompt. You need to adjust with the black screen only. So, but yeah, everything like if I write, let's say Python here and run, and now I can do everything. A equal to, let's say 2, and then if I write a plus 2, this will give you 2. So that way you can run command here. That's not a problem. I mean, every command where whatever complex codes you are writing, those all can be run from the menu. This is the basic. This is where it is started. So this should work.
Excellent. Always. Yeah. Next question is from Alok. If I have made any kind of calculator on Jupyter Lab, how can I host it on my blog site?
Yeah, so that's kind of a place where you go into realm of different libraries. There are different libraries that can provide you .NET kind of support where you build an application or a kind of Flash application. So there are a lot of libraries that I don't remember really the name, but using those libraries, you can build the calculator. If you have already built it, then you can host this calculator, or you can. I think, yeah, you can utilize this Django framework. There is this framework for web development called Django, DJNGO. So this Django framework you can basically use to support your backend kind of Python calculation or Python analysis or Python running based on an client or API based kind of mode. So that way it can work. I have not built it yet, so I cannot really say you details, but you need to probably little bit explore to the Google. In our language, we use RStudio to simplify the coding. What is used in Python to simplify the coding exercise? Yeah, so if I need to say like what is the comparative thing to the RStudio, you can say the spider here. And what is comparative to R Markdown, then you can say this Jupyter notebooks here. So it is both are kind of parallel, you can say. So Spider you would find a lot of similarities with R. So yeah, you can just install Spider and just see.
Yeah. Since a Spider is interactive environment, so it's easy to write and then you can see what is going on. That's why similar to RStudio. So yeah, Spider is there. Anything else?
Any other questions?
It was a nice session. Yeah. So yeah, your feedback, comment, suggestion. If you miss to put in the chat box, please feel free to email us on the email ID what you have, and then I would recommend all attendees please do practice whatever you did today, and then if you want to learn something extra, please feel free to reach out to any videos or any YouTube channels. You can have comparison what you learn and then what are the videos on the YouTube. So by this time, I think we have reached to 12 at Indian Standard Time, and then yeah.
I have a suggestion. Can we prepone tomorrow's session maybe half an hour, like 9:30 a.m. morning? Because I think there are a lot of things to cover. Otherwise, tomorrow's things will also get dragged. So if we can prepone it by maybe half an hour or 1 hour, then it would get more time to the participants to learn and interact. Because as we see today, time was not really sufficient to cover the material.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If anybody is not having any problem, if you have any problem, please type in the comment box that you have problem, then we can think about other solutions. Yeah, because it is, everybody is involved, so we need to take that decision collectively.
Patrick has asked how to run older Python instance 2.7. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we will discuss tomorrow. Perfect. So I need today's recording to practice. We will try our best to send all attendees today's recording. If we will have recording and processing everything, then we will send by tomorrow morning, or sorry, means our time tomorrow morning, Indian time afternoon or evening, you will get that.
But Prakash, so, I would like to one thing here. It is hard to promise right now because we are in Canada or a US time zone and in deep or early morning here. So maybe we will put the video on the YouTube very soon. And one thing we have to consider, this is not like a lecture session. Please feel free to interact with the Vivek and Prakash. So feel free, just unmute your phone and ask question, everything. We are friend. Yeah.
Excellent. So formally we are ending session here. If you want to stay and chat, you can stay and chat with Dr. Gupta, me, and Dr. Pankaj. Yeah, and formally we can, if you want, we can stop recording as well. We can informal chat if anybody wants to.
Yeah. And so I'm going to stop recording. Okay, and go ahead.
Tomorrow's time